Hey guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I am your host Bastion, here to talk about why I have come to a point where I'm a little worried that Breath of the Wild 2 might suck some royal balls. Basically, I was watching a video by this other YouTuber named Arlo. There are very few YouTubers that I enjoy watching when it comes to Nintendo related stuff. People are always asking like, oh, do you watch Nintendo Dark Colossus or whatever? I don't even remember their names. There are two Nintendo specific YouTubers who have very similar sounding names where it's like three words all smushed together and it's like Nintendo Shadow of the Colossus or whatever, something like that. No, I don't watch their videos. I actually used to conflate them and think they were the same person. One of them does like these theory videos that is just like, I don't think you know what the definition of the word theory is, because that is not a theory. That is fan fiction that you're trying to shoehorn and basically do religious apologetics for. Anyway, I like basically two Nintendo specific YouTube channels. One is Arlo, which is that one with the blue puppet thing. Although there's not enough blue puppet, in my opinion, for the whole channel to be based around that concept. I see the puppet hardly ever, basically never. So I feel like the puppet should make at least an intro and an outro. But anyways, and then Zelda I really like, mostly because his voice is butter. He's easy on the eyes, and he is very fact-based. And if there's anything even slightly outside of the realm of fact, he's very quick to say, now that is just my opinion. But he doesn't even really talk about his opinions much. Basically, the reason why I strongly dislike most other Zelda channels or Nintendo channels is sometimes they get a little too into their own opinions or fan fiction, frankly. And it's like, that's not what the Zelda team ever said, e.g. Aonumas never said. And actually, I ran into that issue when I watched this video by Arlo, where he was saying something like, oh, and I'm pretty sure they said this is going to be the darkest Zelda game, similar to Majora's Mask or Twilight Princess. And I was like, I'm pretty on top of all of the developer quotes. I'm kind of obsessed with reading them over and over again, and I don't remember Aonumas or anybody saying anything even slightly like that. So I hope not too many people out there are prepared for it to be dark in terms of horror or scary or whatever. They might have implied that because we'll be underground that it will literally be, the absence of lighting, and so it will be darker in that sense, not in tone, but in graphic style. But we're getting basically the same graphics as Breath of the Wild. Anyways, I really need to get on with the topic of this video, which is why I'm worried about it, and I've already talked about this in previous videos. But it was compounded by the fact and reinforced by a quote from Aonumas, and I wish I had it memorized exactly, but to paraphrase, he basically said that the reason why Breath of the Wild 2 is taking so long to make and why they basically have to delay it and Hyrule Warriors Age of whatever is coming out first is they want to take that same landscape we've explored in the original Breath of the Wild, but make it more beautiful. Beautiful is a weird word to use because it was plenty beautiful the way it was. I worry that there's like a mistranslation issue there, and I'm pretty sure the word beautiful is in that exact quote. I mean, I could look up the quote right now, but maybe I'll just plop it up on the screen right here. But basically what he's saying is we will not be exploring anywhere new. At least the topography of Hyrule will remain the same. That basically from the trailer and whatnot, it's clear we're delving underground and exploring below Hyrule. So to look at ancient ruins and stuff, maybe, the old labyrinths from the original Legend of Zelda or whatever, even though I guess they kind of had labyrinths in Breath of the Wild as well. But the whole reason why I loved Breath of the Wild so much is because it was all about exploration. And if you're reusing the exact same cartography, how can I possibly explore that brand new? I already know where everything is. I already know that, up north is that shoreline and that you can see another land over there. That's what I want to explore in the Breath of the Wild 2, the land north of Hyrule. I don't want to explore the exact same geography as I was. Now you're saying it's not going to be the same geography. We're going to explore underneath it. I want to do that. I want to explore, I want to relive the exact same experience I had with the original Breath of the Wild, which is I climb to the top of a tower, I see a cool lake over there, miles and miles and miles away. I spend a good half hour or whatever heading there. I get sidetracked going to something else and meeting this person and doing this thing, but eventually I reach that destination. That's what I want to do again. I don't see how that works if we have the exact same landscape and we're either exploring just that or also that and then the underground. I don't care about the underground. I want to explore a brand new landscape. That was the whole point of Breath of the Wild. That was their whole reason for building that landscape, was to provide that experience. And they did provide that experience, and now they have to provide that experience brand new, not reused with some new ideas or whatever. So anyways, Arlo was talking about that in his video. He was giving them some passes, like, oh, well, maybe there'll be additional lands that we'll explore. And it's like, no, that's not what they said. And I've had to explain this several times in comments on my videos, actually, when I brought this issue up. Somebody was like, oh, well, maybe we'll explore like a whole new area that we hadn't before, but it's attached to that same land. And it's like, no, because we've already seen the map as it is, and there is no area attached to that land, Like, I think they said something like, oh, we could continue exploring beyond the desert. And it's like, okay, so we might get a little extra desert beyond the part of the desert we've already explored, but that doesn't really satisfy the same itch. What's the phrase I'm looking for? I need to scratch that itch again of climbing to the top of the mountain and seeing in 360 all of these different things that I could go do that are brand new. And you don't get that if you're re-exploring the exact same landscape. And a lot of people say, oh, well, it won't be the same landscape. Surely it will be a new land. And it's like, I wish that was true, but Aonuma twice now has said the same land that you explored in Breath of the Wild 2. In Breath of the Wild, the same land that we explored in Breath of the Wild will be the land that we're revisiting in Breath of the Wild 2. He said that twice now, in basically the only two major presentations about the game. So I don't think we're exploring any brand new lands. It seems like we're going to just be exploring below that same land. We're going to have the same land that we had before, and now we're also going to explore caverns below it. And so you're probably saying to your screen right now, see, so it will be a brand new exploration. And sure, but that's not exploration I want. I want varied. I want brand new forests, brand new mountains, a brand new lake, a brand new desert. I don't want to go to the same desert and then find cave stairs that lead me underneath it, and then I've got caves underneath the desert. It's just a bunch of caves. It's all the same then. So I'm very anxious that Breath of the Wild 2 might not be what I want it to be. So yeah. And since I'm already, like I mentioned in the previous video, not playing Hyrule Warriors, so I've lost my interest in that completely, because I strongly disliked the demo. I guess basically Immortals Phoenix Rising, or whatever the heck that thing is called, Phoenix Rising Immortal, or that Ubisoft Zelda ripoff, I guess, is going to have to scratch that Breath of the Wild itch for me. And then maybe Oceanhorn 2 I'll get around to playing. And those are preferable, in my opinion, than Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, or if Breath of the Wild 2 is literally the exact same landscape, but also now caves below it. That's not what I wanted at all. So I hope I'm wrong. fingers crossed, I'm wrong. Maybe it's a trick of the translation, and what he's been meaning to explain this whole time is this is taking so long because we've got to build this whole brand new landscape completely from scratch, because you're not going to the Great Plateau or Zora's Domain or any of that again. We're heading north across that, that's what it should be. You head all the way north in Breath of the Wild 2, and there's like an ocean or a canyon of a river or something. There's something, but then just beyond that, you can see a whole new landscape. That is where I want to go for Breath of the Wild 2, not caves underneath the same exact landscape. But I don't think that's what I'm getting. So I guess I've got Phoenix Immortal Rising or whatever the heck to look forward to for that. So anyways, that's my pessimistic downer of a video. Again, I hope I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. I would love for myself to be wrong in this instance, but that's it for this one. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.